Hello and welcome. My name is Angela Corben and I teach at the New Forest Art School. Today I'm going to create this mixed media painting, which is a painting to follow up the sketches I made outdoors in the New Forest a couple of days ago, and those two are on the wall there. Those are very quick sketches using collage and pastel. So I've already pre-prepared this watercolour paper. I made a very quick sketch using charcoal, and then I have laid down thick watercolour paper which has been ripped on purpose, so I've got these lovely textured edges. I've used PVA glue to stick them down to create a foundation following my composition of some of the heavier texture. So I'm going to build up the layers on top of this using a range of medium, and acrylic is the perfect medium for this type of quick painting because you can use it thick and thin, and you can layer on top. It dries really quickly, so that's going to really help us today. And by the way, this is a really nice technique to try whether you're new to painting or experienced and just want to try something different. Or if you've got children at home or at the weekend you want to paint with, this is really fun. Okay, so I'm using System 3 acrylic paints, which are inexpensive and great for this type of thing. Got a few yellows: lemon yellow, yellow ochre, burnt sienna, white, magenta, crimson. So I've got my primary yellow, a red, and for blue I've got ultramarine blue and phthalo blue. So really you could do this with just one colour, burnt sienna, or you could do it with one or two colours with white and maybe charcoal. You don't need to go the full hog. What I'm trying to do here is recreate the essence of being out in the New Forest. I'm out there so much, I love it, and I really connect with the landscape, especially when I can just get out there and paint outdoors. It is just stunning. So this is going to be quite abstract. It's going to be a bit from memory, from my heart. I've got my visual records here to remind me. It'll be quite messy, so you might find it fun. I hope so. I certainly may need to redecorate the studio afterwards, but hey, let's get started. So first and foremost we need a large brush to throw down some washes. So I'll do a little bit. I'm probably going to stop talking and I'll just leave you to watch. My signature colour, burnt sienna, phthalo blue, dark. Lots of water, large brush, fluid paint, big mixing palette. Hold the brush at the end, stand back, go for it. Quick blast with the hairdryer. Already I've got some really nice texture with the paint going over the PVA glue. Look, lovely. Right, big brush. Layer. I'm going to bring some of that sky in. Thicker paint. Phthalo blue, white, titanium white. Load the brush and yes. Remember, that's the skyline. It's darker. Stand back. So great. This is so fun. Oops. Right, darker. Ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, darker. Skyline. The skyline, I remember the skyline. Acrylic inks as well. Let's get some dark in the skyline. This is going to drip lovely. Yes, look at that. Skyline. Got those beautiful little fir trees, which just their silhouettes are so exquisite. They are on that line. I remember that. Quite nice to merge some of the skyline with the ground, but here I want to keep it. Right, let's get that path back in. Acrylic ink is brilliant for this fluid style of painting. It gives a different type of line to the charcoal. I'm going to use this lovely sword brush, dip it in my ink with a bit of water on it. You hold it at the end, and we've got some Chinese brush kind of calligraphy marks. Ooh, this is fun. Let's get these trees back in. Just spring. First day of spring today. I want to get out here and do a load more this weekend. I love it out here. Yes, right. So those lovely, we've got all these gorgeous dark gorse bushes which lead the eye through. It's that feeling of walking into the forest. That's what I love. Right, stand back. So here, the gorse bush. I have looked at gorse bushes so many times. Kind of got almost a shorthand. Ooh, like that. Get some drips on there. A shorthand of how they look in silhouette. Is that too heavy? Maybe. Don't think too much. Don't think too much. Just do it. Right, something at the front here. Off. Okay, blast. Hairdryer. Absolutely wow, look at this texture, is amazing. It's kind of like crackling. I didn't think it was going to do that. And here, oh look, you really have to try this experimental approach. It just is delightful. Right, one more colour. I'm going to keep it simple. Let's go for the orangey, the burnt sienna-y orangey. It's a lovely complement to these green and blues, and that's the colour of the brackens out there. Okay, picker paint now. I won't really want to try a knife. I love painting with a knife. Or a bit of cardboard if you don't have a knife. Let's get some of the, it's ochre and burnt sienna. I'm going to try and bring that in. Let's try and just, here. So I know I can get, if I scrape through the edge up through the thick paint, I can get some kind of texture going on. This is just such a fun way to work. You don't have to have picked up a brush before to do this. You just have to have a willingness to play about. And no judgment. I think that's the thing. Oops. Don't try not to stand back and say, oh, what have I done? You should be proud of yourself for picking up a brush. And it's exciting. How can you not like what happens when the paint does this? It's not about a photograph. It's about expression. Self-expression, getting a feeling of the place. Oh, now I've lost a little bit of that nice texture. Never mind. Now, I think I'm going to use ochre, yellow ochre that is, with this sienna and a bit of white. I'm going to get a little bit of the feeling of using a sponge. I remember there was some warmth reflected from here, so we're beginning to get a little bit of a feeling of some of that spring foliage just beginning to come into life. Also marries up the the light at the bottom with the light at the top. Middle line. Final little development. Just want to bring in more of the distance line, because there, Abbotswell and God's Hill, where I go out to paint, this is God's Hill, you get these views through, and then you see beyond it glimpses of the forest just going into the distance. And that, it's about getting these layers all through here before we get to the foreground. Demarcating. Okay, a little bit more light. How are we doing there? So this is my first video with my new proper video camera, which has been really kindly donated by my sister-in-law Kira Atwell, who runs the blog My Fussy Eater. So I'm eternally grateful to family and Kira at this time. That means I can share with you hopefully some slightly clearer images rather than grainy fuzzy ones, which that was what was happening before. Right, I think we need some chalk, but we need another dimension. So basically you can fling at this anything you can get your hands on, but mixed media, it's all about using different media and just having lots of fun with it. Basic artist, they're not even artist pastels, they're basic student quality pastels, but I just want to get some colour on here. So quick blast, final layer. Get that path in. It's the linkage all the way through here that I need to clarify. Now look, that linear mark making really contrasts with the broader brush. White's a bit harsh, I don't want to use much white. No, and I'm not going to bring that yellow in because that is one colour too many. I'm still trying to keep quite a limited palette. So keeping within the orange sienna range. But we do have the gorse. Let's get some. So this is going to be my representation of that lovely brighter gorse colour. Let's bring in a gold. That's a nice happy medium between the orange and the yellow. It's still basically yellow ochre. So I've got a gold acrylic ink. That's going to go on to give me some of the effect of the gorse, which is just abundant this time of year. It's beautiful out there. So the gorse blossom is coming through. Also gives me the opportunity to use a different type of mark. So different size brushes, different applications of the paint, different types of mark making are going to keep it exciting. I think I need to do a splatter. I think I need to get that colour in, maybe with a toothbrush. Use an old toothbrush, plenty of water. Get up to your painting and splatter. You might need to practice that first and just make sure there's no one stood behind your painting. That would not go down too well. So I'm trying to concentrate it so I get a bit closer to my picture. I can a bit more in control of where that splatter goes. Fun. Okay, stand back, evaluate. More charcoal. I love charcoal. I think then we're probably done. Right, that's it. I'm leaving it there. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall create more of these. Bye for now.